Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you're new. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm D. Christine, and in this video I'm going to be outlining what my budget process looks like in the Erin Condren A5 budget planner, and I honestly don't think you've seen it used this way before. Thank you so much for joining me in setting up my budget planner for May. I really feel like this planner is slept on, and I see a lot of people using like the petite budget planner from Erin Condren, or they'll use the Erin Condren monthly planner and turn it into a budget planner, but I use the budget book that they have on their website, and this has been probably the system that I've used the most consistently. And so if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, you definitely should, I hopped into the petite budget planner for a few weeks, and I couldn't stay in that planner because it just didn't fit for my situation. And so if you are tracking multiple incomes, or your emphasis is on cash flow, then I think this method that I use might give you some ideas as to how you can use this planner for you. So a little bit of housekeeping: I'm not a financial educator or counselor or coach, so I can't tell you how to actually manage your finances, but what I can tell you and show you is how you can possibly fit this book into your system. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it. Just so you guys know, I'm using just a clean color dot and a mod liner, Pilot G2 in navy. I'm also using a calendar that I created in Canva and printed out. Normally the words and the numbers would be printed, but they didn't print, so I just wrote them in. And then I'm also going to be using some Planner Kate tiny transparent dot stickers, and I believe this is the Harmony Neutral colorway, which I believe is the colorway for the budget book. And that's pretty much it. So as I do this, I'm going to be telling you guys how I manage my finances in this book. So let me go ahead and set this up, and then we'll talk. Okay, awesome. So sometimes I am a little bit more decorative than other months. It usually depends on how much motivation I feel like I need to get into my planner, but I have had more, decorative months, but I'm really craving the space and the openness of a simple layout and just getting it down. And so I had to just put my feelings to the side a little bit, and just add just enough to make it functional for me for this month. And so the first thing I would say, if you are not doing it already, is definitely calendarizing your expenses is like such a big thing for me, and it's helped me a lot. So if you are like me and you also like to calendarize your expenses, I never really knew what to do with this kind of open space here, but this worked out to be a great solution for me. And so now for the bottom half. So I'm gonna grab my ruler, and actually I think I'm gonna just grab a snap-in bookmark and my whiteout. If you guys were with me in my previous video, you know that I completely ran out of whiteout in the middle of my spread, but that's fine. I have some more. So, like I said, I'm being very bare bones with this spread. I just, honestly, I'm not sure if I feel like being bothered past a certain point. And so I'm just going to be using a lot of whiteout and highlighters and stuff, and then maybe later if I change my mind I might add something. I don't see it, but I still consider this to be a minimalist, no kit, budget setup. And I remember feeling so like, you know, feeling like I have to have a kit in order, you know, for it to be cute or for me to use it, and that's really just not true. So I am big on auditing my stash, especially for, you know, like when you're setting up your budget, and kind of just using what you have around. So I usually use this area for like a this month list of tasks to do. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and set that up. Okay, so I had to think about what my goals for this month would be financially, and as you guys can see, things got a little crazy down here because of my carpal tunnel. My hand sometimes gets a little bit jerky, but it's fine. And so I'm just going to use this dot marker to add a little color to what I'm going to check off. And it's not a perfect match, but it's fine. It will do. And then for this box here, I usually will make it like a quote, or I'll leave it for like sticky notes or stuff like that. But I'm just gonna make it a priority box and put what my top priority for this month is going to be. Okay, and now for this side. On this side, I will keep track of certain things depending on what I need this month, whether it's like calls or services purchased or listings posted, and I typically use this like a to-do list. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even going to white out the headers on this. I'm just going to put some dots down the side for me to check off when I figure out what those tasks are going to be. And then for this bottom half, I'm going to use it to outline my top 2 goals for the month. Okay, so this is where we are right now. Pardon the camera shaking. This stand, like I said in a previous video, it's not working out between us. So if anybody has any suggestions on what I might be able to buy in order to get a stable kind of shot for my videos, I would be more than grateful and happy to try it out. And if you have an affiliate link for that purchase, I will most definitely utilize it. Okay, so I have my goals set up, one being to organize my subscriptions. And you guys, I don't have a lot of credit cards at this time, not to say that I never have, I just don't right now. But you guys, I have so many subscriptions that it is ridiculous, and I'm going to be organizing them into the correct bank account. And if you want to know how I pretty much have been using my bank accounts kind of like cash envelopes, and I have different jars for different uses, let me know in the comments and I will break down how I'm using bank accounts to organize my cash flow. So that being said, I'm gonna flip to the next page, and here's where things get a lot more different than what I've seen other people doing in their planners, and it's just what works for me. It might work for you. And so a lot of people like to try to cover these titles up, these headers, to kind of make it match a theme. And I've done that before, and I'm quick to pull out some washi tape and do it. But for tracking multiple expenses, I really leverage these spaces that is created by these titles, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so this is what I do. I white out what doesn't apply to me or is not a part of my part of the family finances, and I rename it. Sometimes I'll use some highlighters, sometimes I won't. And most importantly, I use the columns to track the individual income source and also to keep track of my account balances throughout the month. And so I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the pay periods that I'm going to be tracking for the month of May. Okay, so I do it just like this, and then I will fill in all of the different expenses throughout the month. And then most importantly, which I'm going to show you an example probably here for what's happening this month, I will put the total up in the corner so I can see how much I'm spending in each section. So I'll do something like this, and then I also use the same color dot depending on my mood, and I use these to check off when things have been purchased or when payments have been cleared. So now I'm going to just quickly flip over to this page so I can show you an example of how I use these as checkbooks, like transaction logs. And I'm sure there are people who also use it this way. But one thing that I make sure that I do is I project my cash flow for the week up at the top. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so as you can see, I will take whatever rollover is in my account, and I'm tracking a specific account. I'll add in whatever income I expect for the week. I'll also subtract whatever expenses, and then I will keep a running balance down the side, even though it says total, and then pretty much resolve how much I expect to be left in my account after certain expenses have cleared. And then I take my color dot marker and I put it next to income, no matter the source, and I will check it off when that payment, that income has cleared into that account. And so after that, I pretty much keep a rolling balance, like a transaction log, a checkbook of what's going in and out throughout the month, internal transfers, and so on. And then depending on what I need to look after, I'll highlight different areas that I want to keep track of. And then I just pretty much go as far as it needs to go. So I'm able to see, well, this is how much is supposed to be left and what else is happening. and then I'll go into the next page if I have to, and then I will use my highlighter and create another line and for the week following and do this part again where I put down, okay, well, this is how much I had in my account at the end of the pay period, which is the rollover, and then here comes my paycheck, income, this, that, and here comes all the expenses. And if all of that clears and goes as scheduled, how much is left in the account. And I pretty much for the most part disregard what week it is, and sometimes I might even cover it up, and then I'll just keep going that way until the end of the month. So that's pretty much how I've been using the budget book to track multiple incomes, and this is, I would consider to be my setup, my bare bones setup for the month of May. I hope this gave you guys some inspiration as to how you might use this without needing a kit or a whole bunch of stickers. And so yeah, so if you want to hang out while I fill in the rest, then you're more than welcome, please. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me as I set up my budget for May. I hope this helped you, even though I didn't share any numbers. I hope this gave you some ideas as to how you might plan your budget in the Erin Condren A5 budget book. And so before I go, I am gonna do one last little flip through. Again, I use these boxes for my goals, and this is a running to-do list. So for instance, this is one of my goals, to look for a remote position because I'm tired of traveling into Manhattan. And so I might keep a list of the things that I'm doing towards that up here and check them off when they're resolved. I also have a to-do list that's just tasks that I need to do for my finances and what my top priority is. And then again, I track multiple streams in the columns of the income section, and then the pay periods for each row. And then I use these color dots to indicate when those payments have cleared. And then I also keep track of my account balances for my different accounts throughout the month. And I am not afraid of using more than one box to accommodate my massive amount of subscriptions, which is one of my goals for this month, which is to organize them and make some decisions about them. And then lastly, I do a projected cash flow for the pay period, and I list what my rollover is in my account, my income, and then whatever my expenses for that pay period is going to be, along with the total after the in and out of the money. And then after that, I'm going to actually keep track of all my transactions like a checkbook, and that way I can see all that's going on in a way that works for me and my situation. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me for this Plan With Me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and hit the like button for more planning content. Connect with me on Instagram at honeystyleandjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful rest of your day.